Get ready to dive into a world where empires stand on the brink of war and terrible monsters tear at the fragile borderlands of men. The Adventurer-Conqueror King System Imperial Imprint, or as we like to call it, Acts 2, is now live on Kickstarter. Acts 2 is the new edition of the acclaimed best-selling fantasy role-playing game. You'll find everything you need to enjoy epic fantasy campaigns with a sweeping scope. Whether you want to crawl through dungeons, experiment with alchemy, crossbreed monsters, run a merchant emporium, raise an undead legion, or even conquer an empire, Acts 2 supports your playstyle. Acts 2 integrates experience point mechanics, making campaign activities a seamless part of the core gameplay loop. Your character levels up in new and exciting ways each time you play, adding massive replayability to each of your adventures. Acts 2 offers 18 character classes, 378 spells, new combat mechanics, and so much more. Support Acts 2 on Kickstarter today.
Another pointless video call where nothing gets done. I think you're on mute, David.
Sorry. What did I miss?
IT just approved Miro for the whole company.
Miro? That's the...
Online whiteboard. For team collaboration. We can make these long video meetings so much shorter with Miro boards. We can share ideas, feedback, and updates on them whenever. Actually see what we're talking about.
It's all online.
Miro will make our flexible work setup so much easier. With one virtual space for our brainstorms, projects, presentations.
Oh, that sounds kind of amazing. So I don't need to wake up for 6 a.m. calls with the London office anymore.
Now you're getting it.
Don't let time zones get in the way of your team working well together. See why 99% of the Fortune 100 trust Miro to get good work done from anywhere. Get your first 3 boards free at Miro.com. That's MIRO.com.
Today's episode is sponsored by The World of Leon, Last Light of Creation. This is a new campaign setting for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition coming to Kickstarter on November 1st. A culmination of 8 years of work by a super passionate dungeon master, The World of Leon, Last Light of Creation is written with the creative player and dungeon master in mind. The book contains plenty of details to familiarize yourself with the world and tell stories in it, but also leaves enough room for a player or dungeon master to put their own spin on things. The history and deities are detailed enough to pick up and play, but open enough to allow additions and customizations without upsetting the lore of the world. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the decades of cumulative lore in Faerun, Leon might be the setting you're looking for. The Kickstarter is primarily to fund the beautiful art that accompanies the text. Highly detailed maps, gorgeous character illustrations, and more. By funding The World of Leon, Last Light of Creation, you'll be supporting the aspirations of a forever DM and their ideas 8 years in the making. So check them out on Kickstarter and join their Facebook page. Kickstarter launches November 1st, so don't miss out. You can find the link to their Kickstarter in our episode description.
Knocked Prone is a clean, chaotic, and deep podcast for D&D nerds. Find more ways to support our show in the episode description.
Last time on Knocked Prone.
And with that, Efimia is the winner of the Wheel of Umber!
And so, because I sold my soul to Orcus, my mom was better. But guess what? I guess she has some freaking dependency on this venom, you know?
What do you mean you made a deal with Orcus? I did too?
I don't want to take you with us. Your brothers need you.
Whether you're a halfling, a giant, or somewhere in between, round the table with your friends, playing Dungeons and Dragons. And if life ever knocks you down, your dice will surely turn around. Roll stats, it's time to quest. Let's put your characters to the test.
My name is Cade, the host and dungeon master of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I'm joined here by the players to my left.
Alec playing Zach.
Mason playing Grom.
Marissa playing Efimia.
And Brooklyn playing Selene.
So we're going to join you guys at the end of the Wheel of Umber. The lights have shut off. Efimia, you've just had this conversation with Dega. Grom, you've had a 2-hour journey with your mother and have been time traveled back into the very moment at the end of the Wheel of Umber with the rest of the parties. So only a short amount of time has passed for everyone else since Grom has entered into the portal. However, Grom has just had 2 hours of hanging out with his mom time, and we're going to join the party there.
So Zach will see Grom come back through that portal and he'll say, Grom, we did it! We got the venom!
Oh, that's wonderful news. Congratulations. What was the final challenge, just out of curiosity?
We spun the wheel.
Of Umber.
You had to be there. How was your mom?
Well, it's a very complicated situation. I'm happy because I got to see my mom. And I'm also happy because I won my fight. But then I was sad because a man-ogre thing attacked me. But then I was happy because I beat him. But then I was actually, we had to kill him. So that made me a little sad.
Oh.
And then, and then I got a hammer, which made me happy. But now I'm gone from my mom, which makes me sad.
Efimia's just going to cock her head to the side and go, I don't understand any of what you said, but I'm glad you're back, buddy.
Look, I got a hammer. And I'll show like a bronze type of hammer with some onyx inlay, the symbol of Moradin, just kind of smack dab in the middle of like the slab on top of the stick. He holds it out to you. My mom told me that this meant... Oh, I can't remember. But it meant something different than my dad told me. So that was, kind of interesting. Anyway, did we get the Bodega brothers?
They're right here. And Zag will usher over Bodega to introduce him to Grom. This here's Bodega.
Oh my goodness, it's so nice to meet you. Hi, Bodega here. Reaches out his left hand to shake.
Grom Iron Fist, good to meet you. I'm supposed to take you in for custody.
Whoa. Wait just a second. Me and Efimia have actually figured out a little bit of a deal. We're gonna help these guys. Their mother has been infected with the same affliction, the Drider venom, the dependency that Finch has, and we're gonna help these guys.
All right, and then we'll take them in.
Well, no.
But we have a job.
Grom, these guys, they don't deserve what Ascended Corp has coming for them.
We don't know what Ascended Corp was going to do, but it didn't seem like they thought they were good guys, and we're pretty sure they're good guys.
They're good guys. I promise you.
All right.
They're looking out for their mother, and that's all that they've been trying to do.
So, what do we do now?
We need to get to Brigarune, to a holy place. We've got the decanter of venom. Efimia knows.
I live in Brigarune.
Yes, you do.
My ears are burning. Did somebody say they need transport to Brigarune?
Ooh, we do.
And the Myconid Seymour Wagers walks over and says,
I can offer you transport to Brigarune with that there mineshaft lift. However, no offense, we didn't have makeup work on any of you beforehand. You look battered and beaten. There are cuts all over each of you. Would you like a place to rest for the night?
Yes, please.
Yes, thank you.
It has gotten rather dark.
Yes.
Well, I have a perfect place for you to stay in Little Brigarune, the Underdark's version of Brigarune. We have 2 guest rooms. The only thing that I ask in return is me and the missus need a night off from our children, and we would just love if you did just a speck of babysitting for us.
That sounds like an actual nightmare.
Deal.
wonderful. He jots a little address for you on a piece of paper and hands it to you. It says, their bedtime is 6 o'clock sharp.
Speaking of, what time is it?
It's about 5:30.
Okay.
Okay, I guess I say we head that way.
Yeah.
Everybody else good?
Yeah.
I mean, as good as
we
we
gotta
can
get the kids to bed in a half hour, so we better get going.
Yeah, you guys head down into the Underdark. The cave gets darker and darker. Sunlight has not been able to travel to this part of the Underdark for a long time. But you approach a house covered in these little mushrooms, and as you get closer and closer, you notice that this is that house with the same address as Seymour Wagers gave you.
Are the mushrooms the children?
The mushrooms are, in fact, the children.
Okay.
Babysitters!
Hello, friends.
What in that game made him think that we could be proper babysitters?
Did you say how many there were?
They are all over the house. Like, the outside of the house are just little myconids crawling over each other. There's probably about a good 100 children here.
Oh my goodness.
Zag is going to use some thaumaturgy to speak nice and loud for everybody and say,
Children, oh children, what's your bedtime routine?
We don't brush our teeth.
Yeah, we don't brush our teeth.
That sounds about right.
okay,
Go to bed. The bioluminescent light that each of these myconids have covering their body all like turn out, and you are again in the dark.
Oh, Zag's gonna look at Efimia specifically. And he's gonna do the double blink, the Zag double blink.
And you guys are welcome to use this guest room. It's very cushy. The beds are kind of small. They're made for myconids, which are, these small humanoids. But if you were to push a few of the beds together, you'd be able to make beds for yourselves. And you're welcome to take a long rest if you would like.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Before we take the long rest, Zag wants to go outside of the mines and forage for some alchemical supplies for potion crafting.
Okay,
Herbalism.
yeah. Roll me an investigation check as you do that.
Okay, I'm looking specifically for fortifying powder on the cave walls and Drider-legs. 6?
Oh,
6?
no.
Ah, man.
With a 6, you were able to make it back to where the Drider that you killed before the Bridesmaid of Darkness was in that cave. With a 6, you're only able to harvest 2 of their legs.
Okay.
But with the fortifying powder, there isn't any fortifying powder that you can find with a 6 investigation.
Okay, so 2 Drider-legs, and then he's heading back to where the party's staying, the Myconid's house. He's going to use the one last heal root he has, as well as one of those Drider-legs, and use 2 of his first level spell slots throughout the night with just his herbalism kits and everything to craft 2 different potions.
I would like to attune to the hammer that I got.
Yes.
Which will just look like Grom appearing deep in thought as he looks at both of the hammers and just trades them back and forth, deciding which one will be in his left hand and which one will be in his right hand.
Yeah.
You're going double hammer?
You attune to your hammer, and you gain the benefits from the Hammer of Moradin as you attune to it.
Cool.
The last thing that Selene says before she goes to bed is, having kids is so easy.
Efimia is just going to huff and sigh and cover her ears.
You and Finch are going to have beautiful children. Maybe spider legs, maybe not. You're going to have some beautiful 4-legged children.
If they're half spider, maybe they have a whole spider child.
I was like sweetly smiling. Now my eyes are like wide open. Tears falling from my face.
Me and Grom will babysit.
And you guys are able to take a long rest. With being in a Myconid house, you are fully safe for the night. No worries of keeping watch or anything. However, as you go to sleep, Efimia, you have a vision.
Another pointless video call where nothing gets done. I think you're on mute, David.
Sorry. What did I miss?
IT just approved Miro for the whole company.
Miro? That's the...
Online whiteboard. For team collaboration. We can make these long video meetings so much shorter with Miro boards. We can share ideas, feedback, and updates on them whenever. Actually see what we're talking about.
It's all online.
Miro will make our flexible work setup so much easier. With one virtual space for our brainstorms, projects, presentations.
Oh, that sounds kind of amazing. So I don't need to wake up for 6 a.m. calls with the London office anymore.
Now you're getting it.
Don't let time zones get in the way of your team working well together. See why 99% of the Fortune 100 trust Miro to get good work done from anywhere. Get your first 3 boards free at Miro.com. That's MIRO.com.
Visions from your past swirl around you, and you feel this dread come over you as you realize your mind has been transported to a separate plane, and a very familiar voice calls upon you.
Efimia, nice to see you again.
Do I see him?
You see Orcus, sitting atop an iron throne towering above you in this endless plateau of blinding crimson red light. The only time your eyes get a break is when the light is covered by this burning, swirling black smoke that aches like it's biting the moisture out of your eyes. You can hardly see the figure of Orcus, but he is unmistakable. A huge, demonic-looking skull of an ox that sits on top of the shoulders of this humanoid. Wings that sprawl out and are leathery like bat wings decorate the back of the torso of this half-zombie, half-skeleton giant creature.
Come forward, my child. We have a deal to strike.
Efimia's gonna stand up straighter and kind of straighten her spine up and look right at him and go, "What is it you want?"
I noticed that you've been
unhappy with our agreement, and I wanted to extend a better scenario for the both of us. I ask you one favor, one assignment, and if you can fulfill this one assignment, one task, I will bestow upon your presence my necromantic energy, and you will grow stronger, and you can be my second in command. This would be my only command for you, therefore you would no longer have to worry about me or one of my cultists calling upon you again. Efimia, you are friends with another half-elf, am I correct?
Yes.
And he recently killed an heir to the goddess Lolth, am I wrong?
I cannot confirm or deny that statement, but go on.
I offer you this simple deal. Convince your friend Zag to make me, Orcus, the new god of the Ten, and I fill you with power, you become my second in command, and I reunite you with your long-lost mother.
Efimia's gonna just take a deep breath, and her mind is racing right now with what options she has. She's never really been the type to seek power in itself, but she also doesn't like the idea of relying on anyone, and she understands that more power would enable her to not rely on anyone. So she's feeling a little vulnerable with this current crew. In this scenario, you become a god of the Ten. What does Zag have to do with that?
He just has to call upon my name, say, Orcus, I ordain you as the new god of the Ten.
And you'd leave me alone.
I'd leave you alone. I'd give you power.
But what about him? What would happen to him?
Zag?
Yes?
He would continue living on normally.
And she's just tapping her foot now, trying to maintain her composure as she considers. So I am leaning towards taking the deal. On the condition that none of the people involved would be harmed. But also, I want to know, would there be a later out? Would she be barred from trying to kill Orcus later?
What this deal is essentially doing is you are ordaining him as one of the gods of the Ten. The gods of the Ten is the most praised deities in the land, and the more followers you have, the more power you gain. And similarly, like how Lolth died even in her godhood state, it doesn't mean that as a god you are unkillable, it just makes it harder.
I think she'd need time to think about this.
As this thought enters into your brain, Orcus nods, and it seems that he has somewhat access to your thoughts.
How does 24 hours sound to solidify your decision making?
I'd consider that, but if you were a god of the Ten, what would you do? Why do you need that spot?
Well, you see, as a demon prince, a demon lord like I am, there is a ceiling of power, and with being a god, that ceiling does not exist. I've reached a point where my power is growing, yet has nowhere to reach further. If I were to be a god of the Ten, my power would be able to expand, and I would be able to better serve my patrons.
And he gestures towards you as he says it.
You would be overseeing over all of the other patrons if you wish. You would have a leadership position. You would be closer related to the gods of the Ten.
What if I don't want a leadership position? I just want to be left alone.
By all means. You may have the power and do none of the work. All I ask is for this position to be bestowed upon me.
Efimia's gonna look up and go, that doesn't really answer my question. What do you want with that power, though?
I've grown bored. I would love to spread my power amongst the world. What a greater honor than to be one of the gods of the Ten.
And she's just gonna huff. An honor is not what you are asking me for. What are you actually asking me for? What do you want? And I'm not just talking about a position. I'm talking, what do you plan to do for the people? Not just your patrons. What do you plan to do for the people? Where does that put your people in line with everything?
Well, my people would have better opportunity. My worshippers would no longer be seen as mere cultists. They would be seen as religiously devout. Instead of being seen as a group of crazy people following a questionable god, they would be following a god of the Ten, one of the well-established gods. All I need is for your half-elf friend to bestow that power upon me.
So at this point, she's starting to consider what options she has and if this will truly be for the better of people. But mainly she's concerned because she knows she's not the only one stuck in a deal. So does Efimia trust Orcus that will stick to his word?
Roll me an insight check.
Okay. Nat 20! I've never rolled a nat 20 in this
Oh,
game.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, congratulations on that natural 20. You know from being a servant of Orcus that Orcus is not on an alignment scale a lawful good god.
Yeah.
If anything, he feels more of like the opposite, a chaotic evil god. However, Lolth was also one of the gods of the 10, and Lolth was also chaotic evil. And so you can assume that if Orcus were to take the same place, order would pretty much stay the same.
Are there worse scenarios than Orcus?
There are definitely worse scenarios than Orcus. Orcus, though a very evil god, isn't necessarily the most powerful of demons that could take over. There will be a power vacuum if no one is set in place. There are better options than Orcus. I'm not saying that Orcus is the best option by any means.
Yeah.
Honestly, Orcus is a very morally gray option, but better than a lot of other options that may come up.
I think at least with Efimia's outlook, she considers herself a realist, but if anything, she's probably more of a pessimist.
Mm-hmm.
And she would be thinking more of what is worse than Orcus in that spot.
Right.
Than what benefits could happen if somebody better got that spot. You still didn't answer, does she trust him?
Does she trust him?
Yeah, like would she trust him? Like,
with your natural 20 roll, he seems to be telling the truth, but not the whole truth. He seems to be telling you kind of what you want to hear and not necessarily everything all at once, because he wants this position and he's willing to do a lot of things in order to be able to do it. Whether or not you find that to be like a bargaining chip of like, because you hold like a ton of power with this. So being able to be like, these are my demands, you have that power. And you can make like a quote unquote pact in the way of like, you won't do this, you won't do this.
okay. At least seeing again from Efimia's perspective and trying to put it in that headspace, which is hard. Efimia would be thinking along the lines of saying yes, she still wants that 24-hour window though. So she's gonna again hold her head up and go, okay, I will come back to you in 24 hours with my answer. But in that case, I think that we should make a deal.
A deal?
Sorts. Yes, a deal. Obviously, Zag would never go for putting you in there by his own volition.
I agree.
If you want me to do this for you, then I need you to promise me a few things.
All right.
1, you will never contact me for a favor ever again.
Fair enough.
Okay. 2, you will release Bodega from his deal with you. He will owe you nothing.
Done.
Okay. And 3, you will promise that no harm will come to anyone in my group out of this deal. That includes my mother. That includes anyone who's going around with me now, such as Zag, Grom, Selene, even Finch, and no harm will be done to them through this deal or by your hands or any of your followers' hands or your demands in any way, shape, or form.
I can promise that me personally will not do any of those things, as well as my followers. I cannot say beyond that. I have no control over anything beyond that. However, I do want to add, if this deal is not to go forward as planned, I will keep my deal with the Dega Brothers, and I will seek to destroy you and your group one by one, lastly with you. So you have to watch as they burn. You have 24 hours to ponder this decision. I look forward to seeing you the next time you go to sleep.
Efimia's just lips tighten across her face. You can tell she is trying so hard to make sure that he can't read her mind in any way, shape, or form, but obviously she can't ensure that. Like, they have a pact further than what she is really familiar with.
With your natural 20 from before, you know that with your deal, in these 24 hours, all of your demands will stand up. He will not bug you for the next 24 hours. Everything you demanded is good as gold for 24 hours.
Okay, in that case, Efimia is going to look at Orcus and go, I will see you in 24 hours. And she just turns around and walks into the mist of wherever.
I trust that I will be happy with your decision, and maybe even I'll throw in some extra perks if I'm happy in the next 24 hours.
And with that, you wake up.
How powerful is the Cox network? So powerful that one day, the internet will let your doctor perform miracles from thousands of miles away.
Connecting to remote operating room.
Giving a whole new meaning to the term house call.
Operation complete.
The Cox network. With gig speeds everywhere. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, bringing us closer. In Cox serviceable areas, speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms apply. Other restrictions may apply.
As you exit out of your vision, Efimia, you all wake up the next morning. As you awake, Seymour Wagers enters into your room and says,
Good morning! We have a wonderful mineshaft lift ready for you currently. Let's be off!
And he walks you over to the mineshaft lift. As you are approaching the mineshaft lift through these Underdark caves, it's very, very dark. You're still able to see since you all have dark vision, but this elevator looks so rickety and potentially unstable if it has a lot of weight placed on it.
Before we get to the shaft, can Zag do one thing? Like as we're walking over? So I totally forgot to bring this up in previous sessions. Zag wants to bring up the vision that he had when he went unconscious after killing the bridesmaid. Hadn't brought it up in podcast yet. So he say, hey guys, I'm assuming this is kind of a walk.
Yeah. So you guys are walking towards the mineshaft lift, and it's about a 15-minute walk. Zag, you have some time to talk to the rest of the party about your vision.
Okay. So you say, hey guys.
Yeah?
Do you remember when I took that little nap after we fought the bridesmaid?
I mean, I wouldn't quite call it a nap, but yes.
Okay, well, I saw some things that I feel like I need to share with you. I saw Orcus.
What?
I had almost, I don't know, it was like an out-of-body experience. I was in a different plane, a different realm, and I saw Orcus killing Lolth.
Isn't that a good thing?
Well, I didn't know what to think, and then he looked at me and he spoke to me, right at me, and said, the bridesmaid was meant to take Lolth's place in the Gods of the Ten, and now that I had killed her, it was up to me to find a new replacement. And if I didn't, a vacuum would form and someone else would fill that position.
I'm assuming someone much worse?
I don't know.
Zag, this is a really important responsibility.
I know, I should have told you. I was tired.
You tell us after now?
How much time do you have? Do
We've
you know
been babysitting.
What?
I've been tired. The kids were up all night.
What's the timeline here?
I don't know anything else than what I just told you. I don't know how to get in touch with Orcus. I don't know how to find out.
I do.
What do I do? How do I know? I need to know, like, what am I supposed to do?
I don't think Orcus is the person you want to ask about that.
How long do I have? I don't know anything.
Oh, no.
I think, if anything, we should make this decision quickly.
Well, if Selene ends up being a spider person thing, then maybe she can become it, and instead of being a princess, you'll be queen.
Hey, it's a promotion.
Efimia's just trying to rub her temples.
No. The last thing I will be is a spider god.
What about Finch? Then you can be wife to a spider god.
I look over at Finch, who... What is Finch doing right now?
Finch is suckling on this never-ending
decanter.
decanter of Drider venom.
Use the
Why
word.
did you have to use that
No,
word?
suckling is perfect. And
Never say suckling ever again.
when you said that, the first thought in my head is that Grom is holding him like a baby. Wow. Drink your poison.
It will be neither of us. In case you didn't know, we are very dedicated worshippers of Lathander, and I don't have any intention of being an opposing god to him.
Is Lathander a god of the Ten?
Yes.
If you're a god, you get to decide what you do, right? So maybe you be friends with Lathander and you work things out.
Hold on, everyone. Let's take a step back here. Let's at least consider the reality of our options. We know there are worse people out there than Orcus, correct?
And they could take that place.
Exactly, especially if there's a vacuum, we have no control. It sounds right now like there's a little bit of control that we might have here. We can't create a god in a short space of time.
I don't know how much time I have.
Well, I think we should at least go to Brigarune. We're right here. We're so close. And maybe we can ask around the most knowledgeable, powerful
We're going
people.
to a holy place, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's get going, and maybe we can figure it out there.
Maybe we'll decide today. I don't know what our timeline is, but I just feel like none of us know anything about this. I don't think we have business doing this, but it's become our business. And when I say our, I mean yours, Zach.
Yeah. Okay, Zach's gonna do something potentially so dumb. Like,
that's it.
Beyond his normal dumb. Can he try and contact Orcus and ask him how long he has?
Roll me a religion check.
I don't want to speak with him necessarily. I just want to be like, hey, bro, like, what's the timeline here? Like, do I have a year? Do I have a day?
Roll me religion check as you meditate.
Zach all of a sudden closes his eyes.
So how I'm going to have this work is you're going to roll a religion check. If you roll high enough on your DC, you can contact him without having to be in contact with him. You can relay a message essentially. If you roll low, he will contact you and he will know directly who you are and a lot of things about you, Zag.
I feel like I have to do it still, right though? Okay. Roll. Religion?
What'd you get?
A 7.
Oh no.
Should I have an inspiration? Do you think this is important enough?
I mean, we are deciding the fate of God.
Okay, I'm using a point of inspiration. Yeah, the fate of the gods that it said. Okay, inspiration point earned. 8.
An 8? Okay.
Oh no.
You hear in your head,
Zag, hello.
Old buddy, old pal.
I think you know who I am. I'm very familiar with you.
Dad? No.
No.
Are you Grom's mother?
No.
Orcus,
yes. Third time's the charm, as they always say. Why are you contacting me? Have you spoken with your party members about your decision?
I've spoken with them about what you've told me. How much time do I have and what do I do when I decide?
Well, you have today.
Like a business day? Like, what do you mean by today?
The next time you long rest, I and the rest of the world hope to hear your decision.
And I just sit down crisscross applesauce and talk to you?
Of course.
Okay.
Be sure to counsel your friends around you. They seem to know what is best.
What do you think it should be?
I cannot say. I have my own skin in the game, and I don't necessarily want to sway you on something you wouldn't want to do.
Can it be you? Are you the god of the 10?
I'm not a god of the 10, however it could be me. The decision is up to you. I hope that I am happy with your decision in 24 hours, but the Bride State of Darkness left you in charge.
Can you let Efimia go?
Under the right circumstances, I can, yes.
Great. I'll see you when I talk to you tonight. And Zach's gonna try and wake up out of it.
Yeah. You stop your meditation and you wake up and
all I'm saying is that I think you'd make a pretty good spider goddess.
Efimia, I did it! Orcus said he was gonna let you go.
What do you mean? You talked to him just now?
I said, hey, how long do I have? He said till tonight. But the most important thing is, I said, hey, can you let Efimia go? And he said, I can. And then I woke right up.
On what conditions, Zach?
He didn't say, but I would say he said yes. So you're free.
That's the thing with evil people, Zag. There's always a condition for letting someone go.
I'm never going to be free.
Yes, I think that if a condition was in place, he would have told him.
I agree.
What if it was so he could become a god of the 10?
He said he wasn't one.
I know he isn't currently one, but what if that's his bargaining chip?
What if we make you the god, and then you can fight Orcus?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that's a much better idea.
I am not a god.
Well, I'll tell you guys one thing.
I am barely a warlock.
Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards Bodega, but I haven't made my decision yet. We should probably get to Brigarune.
We need to talk to a professional.
We need to get out of here.
We need to discuss a lot of things.
Oh yeah, and I have one day. Today.
Oh, wait, you have one day.
One day today. I have to decide by tonight before we go to sleep.
Oh, okay.
We're probably gonna miss brushing our teeth tonight. It's gonna be a busy one.
You hear the Myconus in the background.
How powerful is the Cox network. So powerful that one day, the internet will let your doctor perform miracles from thousands of miles away.
Connecting to remote operating room.
Giving a whole new meaning to the term house call.
Operation complete.
The Cox network. With gig speeds everywhere, it's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, bringing us closer. In Cox serviceable areas, speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms apply. Other restrictions may apply.
So you guys arrive at the mineshaft lift, and you see that it is dangling by a tiny rope. It looks to be a long journey up from where it is, and as you guys know, you don't have a ton of time with Finch and Selene's condition.
So we realize it looks awful.
Yeah, does it look so bad that it like
do we even have to roll
would it
for
be
this?
would it be reasonable for us to be like, we're not going all together?
Roll me a nature check.
12.
With a 12, you think that everyone could be in the same lift at the same time. However, it looks to be more dangerous the more people are in it.
But a very long journey.
Very long journey.
Precious time.
What's very long?
Grom is already in the
With
elevator.
the 12, you don't know.
What are you waiting for? Let's go.
Should we risk it?
Okay, guys, listen. Clearly, this is a sketchy lift. The last thing we need is to die right now.
Valid.
Bad idea. What if, Grom, you go up, and if you want, you can pick as many people as we feel like is safe, maybe half and half, because you know the city. Maybe you can start heading in a direction. You can tell us which way to head, and then the second round of us can follow after you.
Of course, and Princess, you're small and frail. You should be able to accompany me.
Okay, I'll go with you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Zag and me and Finch.
And Avery.
And Avery.
Well, obviously, we bring Avery with us. I like the dog.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I'll keep Goku.
No, Avery will need Goku on that ride.
You're right.
I'm on
I'm
a
sorry.
rickety lift. I need Goku right now. I'm gonna freak out.
You can't take away her emotional support animal.
So, Grom, which direction will you be heading? Where do you think we should go?
How do we find you when we get up?
Grom,
Behind
listen very carefully, Grom. Once we get out of the lift, where do you think we should go? Give us directions.
Well, whenever I'm alone in Brigarune, I go to the Pay Dirt Inn.
Pay Dirt Inn?
So where do you think the smartest person, religious person that you know?
Well, I know that there was a big building across the town from Pay Dirt. So I think that was the holy place. I don't know. I was never that good at it.
Okay, well, we'll at least head in that direction, and if it's not the right place, we'll meet you somewhere around there. So, north, east, south, west, left, right. Can you give us any direction of where we would go after we leave the lift?
He said towards the big building.
Yes.
Oh, is it the biggest building?
Pater Inn is next to a ravine.
Yes, which is on the most western side of the city.
Okay.
You will appear at the most northern side of the city.
If you go to the ravine, that is where Pay Dirt Inn is, and then it's left of the inn.
Okay, and this Pater Inn is popular?
It's where I drink.
Okay,
Yes.
well, in the worst case scenario, we'll ask around. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry, we're running out of time. We should probably get going.
Okay, go on, Princess.
Okay, do we have a way to contact each other?
I have sending now. Hold on.
What if we just contact each other on our phones when we all get up there, and then we can at least communicate that way?
Thank you for being the voice of reasoning. That's perfect.
I do my best in this crew.
All right, let's get going, and I'm going to push the button, close the doors, assuming that's how that works.
Who's going up first? So it's Efimia and Grom.
Yes,
And Avery.
And Avery.
And Goku.
Since there are 3 people, the DC will go up by 3 times. I need one of you to roll me a straight luck check.
A 9.
With 3 people on the elevator, a 9 is a mishap. So I'm going to roll on a table real quick here. You hear the rope above you. The rope starts to fray and crack above you, making it much harder for the next check that Selene and Zag will have to make. But it doesn't break. You make it. It is an hour journey up.
Oh, wow.
A long time for me to spend with Grom alone.
Hi.
Hi, Grom.
Everyone jump on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Let's not do that right now, please.
Sorry.
It's okay, Avery. Grom, you should know better.
I'm sorry.
How was meeting your mom? That's weird.
It was? I thought she was dead. So that was surprising.
I know. I'm a little jealous.
But, yes, I'm like halfway to freeing her, I think. I have a hammer. Apparently this is worth a lot of money, and I need to give it to people after I kill people with it.
That sounds very daunting.
Yes, but it's also in my skill set, so I think it should work.
To kill people with this specific hammer?
Just attacking people in general, but yeah, yes.
Ah, yes, sounds right. You know what sounds great?
Yes.
What if we play the quiet game?
All right. What's your favorite color?
Grom, quiet game.
Shh. Right. Do you want to be a god then? I think you'd make a good god.
I'd rather not be, but you know what? Orcus isn't such a bad idea.
Oh?
Yeah.
So we like Orcus then. I thought you told me he was a bad guy.
I mean, he hasn't done me wrong so far.
Alright.
When we put it in perspective, I mean, he could have called on me to do some atrocious things so far, but he is not. So maybe he actually isn't such a vengeful god.
What's vengeful?
Real mean.
Oh, alright.
Yeah.
Like the bridesmaid. But you're not real mean.
I try my best not to be.
You want to be a god then?
I still don't.
Oh.
I still don't.
Okay.
Let's put that off the table entirely. Being in charge of any group of people sounds absolutely miserable to me. But I'm at least considering the options here. I mean, couldn't there be worse than Orcus? That's what I'm kind of concerned about right now.
Probably.
Yeah. You know who we should talk to about this when we get off this?
Who?
We should talk to Zach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a good idea.
Oh, hi.
No, I'll lean in like it's a secret.
I think you lost the quiet game.
Oh no, not me losing. I think we need to restart then.
And you guys arrive. The lift reaches the very top, and as it reaches the very top, you see a button that says return.
Okay, maybe we should make sure this goes back down. I'm assuming it'd take about another hour. We'll be a couple hours ahead.
All right. Well, I can show you the city. I live here, by the way.
How about we wait for the rest of the crew? And for now, let's go find that tavern and I'll buy you a drink.
That's a very nice offer. Thank you.
I'll lead the way to the Patron Inn.
As you walk away, one of the mine workers says, "Hey, are you returning it then?"
Yes, I suppose so.
He presses the return button and free fall. The mine shaft speeds downwards, and in a rate of just 6 seconds, Selene and Zag, you see the lift appear right next to you guys at the bottom of this cave. The lift is ready for you guys to enter.
Did it break?
No.
That sounded like really intense.
I mean, the rope looked not very good, but it's still intact.
Okay.
It's Zag, Selene, Finch.
Yes, which
so we're
is
rolling higher this
heavier.
time.
Yep, you will have to roll higher this time.
So my metagame, my one idea is that for a minute I have my wings.
So one of the potion that I crafted last long rest with the Drider-like, I actually crafted a potion of climbing. So one of us will get a climbing distance equal to our speed for 1 hour.
Oh.
But one of us could climb out. Say we get on the lift, something bad happens. We do have that
How
option.
would you climb out though?
All right, is it near a wall that we could climb out?
Yeah.
I guess from the ceiling, you can maybe come out of the ceiling or something. And then my thought was that if it breaks, I have wings. I could maybe lift it up and try to fly up while lifting it.
I have a potion of
stuff.
climbing. I say that's her game plan.
Are your dice good?
I'll roll it, but just remember the last time I rolled a random check, your boyfriend got turned into a drider.
I don't have any inspiration. You have one.
I have one. Okay, I'm rolling it.
Okay.
Do we know the DC or am I just going for this?
You don't know the DC.
Oh my goodness. Oh no.
What'd you roll? What'd you roll?
It doesn't matter. I used an inspiration. 8.
8? You get onto the elevator. You get 10 minutes in.
We're talking about wedding stuff.
Yeah, wedding planning.
Obviously.
Finch is still suckling on his Drider venom.
Stop that.
And then The rope snaps.
Immediate reaction. Wings sprout from my back, like my first reaction.
What is Finch's current condition? Could he grab on?
Yeah.
Okay, I think Zag is going to grab Finch, jump for the wall, and yell at Finch to grab on.
Finch grabs on. Roll me an athletics check as you jump towards the wall.
14.
A 14 passes. You make it from the elevator shaft to the wall. You down your potion of climbing.
I had a question. I don't know. This is probably a dumb himbo. I don't know how to play a question. Could I split that potion and get half the effects per person? 30 minutes for me and 30 minutes for Finch? It's a 1 hour effect of climbing your walking speed.
Rules as written, no. Rules as intended, no. But rules as Cade, why not?
All right. All right. I'm gonna take a swig. I'm gonna hand it to Finch. I'm gonna just force feed it because he's just sucking on that venom.
He thinks that that you give him a bottle of venom, and so he hungrily drinks it. And you both now have a half hour of climbing. Selene, what are you doing?
So after they get out, I'm going to attempt to get out with my wings.
Easily able to with your flying.
Okay, how far does it look like we have to get to the top?
You guys have gone 10 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
There's 50 minutes left. However, elevators ascend at a rate of 10 feet per round, whereas Zag is moving 3 times that rate.
Okay, so it's a very slow elevator.
Yes. So Zag and Finch will be able to make it with this potion that they've drank.
Alchemy rules.
I'm going to make an attempt to fly upwards as fast as I can. My thought is that hopefully I can get to the top. I have a flying speed of 30 feet per round, so I'm just going to fly upwards.
You might not make it.
Selene, you are mad dashing upwards, and your wings tire, and you find a nearby ledge, and you cling to it.
Yeah, so my thought, I don't know if you'll allow this, but my thought is that as I tire and I feel that my wings are going to reach its limit, that I will then attach to the side wall and just do my best to climb from there.
Roll me an athletics check.
Also, there is a rope here, right? I mean, it broke, but like there's still a rope hanging. So would it be more reasonable for me to...
Do you want to climb a rope or do you want to climb a cabin wall?
I almost feel like it's more reasonable for me to climb the rope.
Yeah, if you're using the rope, roll me with advantage.
So I rolled a 16 with my roll with advantage on climbing the rope.
With a 16, you are able to utilize the rope you tied around your waist. You make it most of the way up before your arms tire out from climbing so much, and Zag is able to turn around, notice that you're in distress, and come and help you the rest of the way up.
Yeah, so I assume we're totally exhausted. I mean, I'm just like almost passed out on the ground, like totally ruining my dress, just like laying on the dirt trying to catch my breath.
As you guys get to the top of this lift, you see the mine workers like, oh, another break? Third one today. Okay. And he like starts making repairs on the lift. And as you guys are looking around, you see the light is almost blinding as compared to the Underdark. Bioluminescent plants litter the entire city, and they are surrounded by pools of boiling lava. This boiling lava seems to be the lifeblood of Brigarune. It powers the forges, it feeds the plants, and it is the only source of light so deep in these caves. And you see a massive city where every single building is ornately crafted with beautiful stonework that has been etched out of this mountain. And a huge sign of Moradin is over the entire city on the top of the mountain, replacing where the sky would be. As you guys are heading towards the Pay Dirt Inn, I think that is where we are going to end our session for the night. My name is Cade, your host and elevator manager of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I'm joined here by the players to my left.
Alec playing Zag.
Mason playing Grom.
Marissa playing Efimia.
And Brooklyn playing Selene.
Thank you for listening to tonight's episode. We will be back next week with another spicy episode of Knocked Prone. If you like this episode, go on over to patreon.com/knocked and consider supporting our podcast. With donations that you make, we're able to make more content, and we are producing currently different streams of content that we are going to be producing in the near future. So keep your eye out for that. Again, that is patreon.com/knocked, and we hope that you remember when life knocks you flat on your back, all you got to do is keep rolling, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
How powerful is the Cox network? So powerful that one day, the internet will let your doctor perform miracles from thousands of miles away.
Connecting to remote operating room.
Giving a whole new meaning to the term house call.
Operation complete.
The Cox network. With gig speeds everywhere, it's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, bringing us closer. In Cox serviceable areas, speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms apply. Other restrictions may apply. How powerful is the Cox network? So powerful that one day, the internet will let your doctor perform miracles from thousands of miles away.
Connecting to remote operating room.
Giving a whole new meaning to the term house call.
Operation complete.
The Cox network. With gig speeds everywhere, it's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, bringing us closer. In Cox serviceable areas, speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms apply. Other restrictions may apply.